Hey guys, it's Will here and welcome back to another battle report. So after a few weeks of having my butt kicked by the Genestealer Cult when I've been running my salamanders, it's time to bring the big guns out. It's the Biel Tan Eldar army, the Biel Tan Stormwind host. This should be a good battle. We're doing 2,000 points Maelstrom of War, and this is the chance for the cult to try out against a really strong opponent rather than my salamanders, who are a bit underpowered. My Eldar are an army with proven success, so should make for a good mission. Anyway, let's take a look at the armies.
So here is my 2,000 points of Genestealer Cult. It's a cult insurrection detachment. So for Lord of the Cult, I just took a Magus. He's a level 2, and that is it. I haven't rolled his psychic powers yet. For the core detachment, I took the Neophyte Cavalcade. So for this, you have to have 2 units of Neophytes. So I've got one of 11 with 1 grenade launcher, and one of 10 with 2 grenade launchers. And they're both in Chimeras with multi-lasers, heavy bolters, no other upgrades. A unit of 3 Scout Sentinels with multi-lasers, just stock, easy as you come. And then 2 Lehman Russes with sponsored heavy bolters on the whole, and the Exterminator rocket cannons. Lots of shots, basically. So that's my core, the first formation. Then I've got, for an auxiliary, the Demolition Claw. This is 2 rock grinders with clearance incinerators, and 2 units of 5, 1 demo charge, 4 hand flamers in each. Moving on to my next auxiliary, I have a subterranean assault swarm. So this includes my Primus there, 10 metamorphs, 6 with claws, 3 with talons, and 1 with a lashed whip and bone sword. So yeah, that's them. And I got 2 units of 10 acolytes. The leader has a bone sword, otherwise there's no upgrades in there. So that's subterranean assault. I haven't used this formation much, but we'll see how it does. I've got just 8 Genestealers as a Shadow Skulker auxiliary. They've got Scything Talons just because I like Genestealers. And then I've got the first Curse as one of the, what are they called, command options. So I've got a Patriarch who've upgraded to a level 2, and 20 Genestealers, which I haven't rolled for any powers or anything like that. He will be my Warlord, so we shall see what powers we get and how we deploy onto the Eldar.
So here's my Biel Tan Eldar army. It's a list I've run at this points value a few times before, because yeah, it's pretty much everything I've got to make an optimal 2,000 list. So starting with my Warlord, my Farseer, on a jet bike naturally, with the Singing Spear and the Spirit Stone of Anathlan. He's riding with 3 Troops Choice jet bikes, each with shuriken cannons, and then 2 further squads of jet bikes with the scatter lasers under there, 2 squads of 3. Then I got second HQ choice, who is my Spirit Seer, converted from a Warlock model there, and he's going to be going with 5 Wraith Guard. Now these have got the standard Wraith cannons on there rather than the D-scythes, so a little bit longer range and a bit more punch, but at the expense of a Flamer template. And they're going to be riding in a dedicated Wave Serpent transport. We've got the upgraded Shuriken Cannon and Bright Lance on there. Then I've got Falcon Grav Tank, Bright Lance and Pulse Laser on the turret there. And that's going to be transporting the first of my aspect units. I have 7 aspect warrior units in this army, 6 of them in an aspect host, and then the striking scorpions on the end there as an elite choice. So start with, I have, should be 6 what they called Dire Avengers, with an Exarch, with the Power Sword and Shimmer Shield. Then got another squad of 9 Dire Avengers, again Shimmer Shield and Power Sword on the Exarch, and they've got a dedicated Wave Serpent transport with Shuriken Cannons on the turret and also on the upgrade underslung weapon. And finishing off that first aspect shrine formation, we've got a unit of Dark Reapers upgraded with an Exarch, and they've all got the Star Swarm and Star Shot missiles on there. So the rapid fire, also the heavy 2 ones and the crack missiles. We've got 2 units of 5 Warp Spiders, both with Exarchs, both upgraded with Twin Link Death Spinners, and then a unit of 6 Swooping Hawks, again with Exarch. Finally, to round out the army, unit of 10 striking scorpions, and we've got the Exarch on here with the Scorpion's Claw and Scorpion Chainsword. So there we go, 2,000 points of Biel Tan Eldar. So the mission we rolled up is Cleanse and Control, so nice and straightforward, standard Dawn of War deployment, and three objectives every turn. I won the roll-off to go first, and chose to deploy first, go first. So I put my Dark Reapers in this building, holding that objective and having a nice view over the battlefield, and then use the cover to kind of protect my jet bikes, with my tanks a little more out in the open, because he's not got much that can threaten them, particularly if they choose to jink. Farseer's over here in the middle. Then I infiltrated my Scorpions further forward, and then he did all his cult ambushes, so these guys have popped up in here, those guys there, and these guys all along here. He only initially deployed 4 vehicles, the Goliath there, the 2 Lehman Russes in the centre and the Goliath over there. The rest of this is infiltrated or deployed by Cult Ambush. One big thing to note with the Cult Ambush is these guys over here, the first curse, they rolled a 6 for the Warlord trait on the Patriarch, which means they can choose what Cult Ambush result they get. But that means normally he would go for deploy within 3 inches and assault in the first turn they appear, but obviously with all this firepower and the likelihood of an Eldar first turn, he decided rather than being overly aggressive and targeting my Farseer straight away, he was going to stick them right at the back to keep them safe. So a good plan there. Should be a pretty good game. I think both these armies can really deal out the damage, but need to rely on cover and shenanigans to actually have any survivability. So I expect the casualty figures to rack up pretty quick if people get out in the open. But anyway, Sam, you have an opportunity to seize the initiative. And it's a 4, so no initiative stolen. Eldar turn 1. Good luck, mate. So started my turn with 3 fairly easy to achieve objectives in the long term anyway. Witch Hunter, Kane's Wrath, which is just successfully charged with an Eldar unit, and secure objective 6. Problem is 6 is right the way over there, and although I could have got there with the jet bikes this turn and scored it, it would have really wasted the jet bikes, so instead I concentrated on keeping my army alive. So everything has sort of swept across into this corner here, away from some of the outflanking and infiltrating Genestealers, and then I proceeded to open up en masse against the Genestealer hybrid unit that were there. They were acolytes with the Magus. So initially tried to take the Magus out for an easy Witch Hunter with Mind War, but it was dispelled, and then tried to doom the unit with the Farseer, but that was dispelled as well. So it basically just, yeah, they were nasty. They had Shrouded in there, which meant they had a 3-up save, so I had to pour so much firepower onto them. Both these Wave Serpents shot off their Serpent Shields. All 3 jet bike units went for them, and the Dark Reapers, one of whom has fallen off there. Eventually did wipe them out, but yeah, it took a lot of firepower to do it. Only other shooting of note was the Falcon, who'd slithered down the flank here and put a hull point on the Goliath there, but didn't really do as much as I would have liked it to. Would have liked to have got the charge off with the Scorpions to score Kane's Wrath, but because they infiltrated, they can't charge turn 1, so that was bit of a pain. So they're just going to have a staring contest with this other unit that also can't charge turn 1. Didn't shoot because I didn't want to lose my stealth and shrouded for the 2+ cover save. And yeah, that was about it. So points wise, I got first blood for that unit, and I also scored Witch Hunter. I'm going to keep hold of Kane's Wrath because I probably will get a charge eventually, but I'm going to discard secure objective 6 just because it's going to be a bit of a sacrifice to get over there. But anyway, with 2 points up to the Eldar and a whole load of Genestealers bearing down on me, let's go with Genestealer Cult turn 2. And of course, by Genestealer Cult turn 2, I actually mean Genestealer Cult turn 1. So, Sam's objectives this turn were Ascendancy, Blood and Guts, and Overwhelming Firepower. Now, initial action was for the the Goliath to move forward, and these guys to get out, try and barbecue the Scorpions. Killed 5 of them, and then this second squad tried to finish them off, but had no luck really with their auto pistols. So still got 5 Scorpions there. Do need to take a leadership test for them, and they're fine, 7. So even with the fire support from the Goliath truck as well, failed to kill them because of their cover and good armour. So Scorpions are alright and ready to get me into some combat next turn. The rest of his shooting was targeted at my Farseer and his jet bike squadron. So 2 units, the 2 Lehman Russes, both the Chimeras and the heavy stubber from that Goliath all went for them. Now I thought my Farseer was going to be safe behind this tank, but unfortunately his headpiece was a little bit tall and visible over the top, so yeah, unfortunately they could see him. The Lehman Russes wiped out the whole squad of bikes and put 2 wounds on the Farseer before the Chimeras finished him off. He passed a lot of saves on the way though, so much like the Acolytes and the the Magus last turn, the squad proved tough to take down but did eventually fall. Now that plus scoring ascendancy has left the Genestealers in a rather good position, because that scored them overwhelming firepower, warlord, and 3 points for ascendancy. So he's 5-2 up in the first turn. You will note the absence of both the pure strain Genestealer units, the first curse and the unit from over that side. Both of them cult ambush to get off the board and have some better luck next turn, hopefully. But anyway, with the Eldar a little bit behind, it's time to bring on my reserves. So first, 2 units of Warp Spiders. So that a 5 and a 3, yep, they're both on. And the Swooping Hawks are on as well. Oh no, that 3 doesn't come on because I get -1 to my reserves because of the Genestealers. So, yeah, the Genestealer Cult special rules. So, yeah, just 1 unit of Warp Spiders and my Swooping Hawks. Here we go, Eldar, turn 2. One thing we did forget to mention is that both of these Chimeras attempted to move forward through the woods, and both managed to immobilise themselves, so pretty bad luck for the Genestealers there. But just as I start my turn, I'll show you my objectives. I've got Secure Objective 2, Psychological Warfare, and Maintaining Cain's Wrath. So Objective 2's there, so should be a pretty good turn for the Eldar. Here we go, Eldar, turn 2. So turn 2 went really well for the Eldar there. Swooping Hawks came down about here and dropped their grenade packs on these guys, killed 3 of them I think, 4 of them, and then they killed another couple with their las blasters. Over this side the Falcon finished off the already hull pointed Goliath there, and the Dark Reapers, Dire Avengers disembarked and killed 3 of the squad with the demolition charges. The other one got caught in the blast of the Goliath, and the one survivor is running away. The other unit of Acolytes there were injured by the combined firepower of this Dire Avenger squad that disembarked from their Falcon, which also added to the weight of fire. Left them about half strength, and then the Scorpions charged in for a nice little clean-up massacre there. The Dark Reapers put a hull point on the already hull-pointed Chimera. Then this tank tried to, the Wave Serpent tried to finish them off, but in the end it fell to the jet bikes to take the final hull point off that tank. Squad that disembarked passed their pinning check, but took another couple of casualties from the jet bike unit. Then finally the Warp Spiders. They popped up here, got a perfect land on their deep strike, and were able to wreck the Goliath before jumping away. So all in all, a really solid turn for the Eldar, despite losing my Farseer last turn. Things going pretty well. So I've got a point for Cain's Wrath, only 1 point for Psychological Warfare, and 1 point for Secure Objective 2 under this building. So that brings it back to 5-5, but this turn we've got some more Genestealers to come on, and we've got the Sentinels, so never count out the Genestealer Cult, not this early. Here we go, Genestealer turn 2. So as I expected, Genestealer turn 2 was pretty nasty for the Eldar. Both these armies can do damage, but can't necessarily take it. Sam had Blood and Guts, Prepare for the Next Ambush, which is bring a unit into ongoing reserves, and Big Game Hunter. So as you can see here, the first curse came back on, and with their ability to choose their thing. They obviously went for the one where they can assault off the ambush, and so they went straight ahead and did that, massacred the Dark Reapers for no casualties. So a nice easy first blood there. Not first blood, blood and guts. The unit of metamorphs that were in there disappeared back into ongoing reserves to score on point, and were replaced by a unit of sentinels that ambushed on, fired at these this jet bike squad here, and with the help of the one surviving Chimera, left the jet bikes of just a single member, but he passed his save. These Genestealers cropped up here right in the middle of the board, but unfortunately for them weren't able to charge this turn, so just moved closer to my tanks. Over here, one squad of Acolyte neophytes went back into ongoing reserves, while the other one disembarked from their Chimera and moved up to shoot the warp spiders, but my flicker jump left me at long range, so he wasn't able to do any damage. He put a couple of wounds on me, but we passed the saves. But the Leman Russes were the absolute stars of the turn. Massive hurt on the Dire Avengers. Would have killed all of them, but this guy is actually out of sight because of the tank, but the rest of the squad's been massacred, so fair play to him there. Good move. So that scores another 2 points for the Tyranids, 1 for blood and guts, and 1 for moving back into ongoing reserves. And sorry, I called them Tyranids there. They're not Tyranids, they're the Genestealer Cult. But yeah, that does leave him 2 points up, but, you know, the Eldar are still going strong. We've passed our leadership tests and are about to draw 3 more cards, but before we do that, I have another reserve roll to make. It's a 6, the second Warp Spider unit's coming on. Here we go, Eldar turn 3. So, Eldar turn 3, I had Behind Enemy Lines, Guardians of the Hidden Path and Secure Ob 5. For Guardians of the Hidden Path I got 3, so I just had to wipe out the Genestealer unit that was sitting on Objective 3. As long as there wasn't an enemy unit within 12, I'd score that. Behind Enemy Lines and Secure 5 were both meant getting right to the back as well. So Warp Spider unit had a lucky deep strike, landed right where I wanted them, were able to then kill half this squad, who then did pass the leadership test, and then run to Objective 5 with Battle Focus, so that's a nice score, and they're just towing into his deployment zone for Behind Enemy Lines as well. Second Warp Spider unit came across from here, shot the Sentinels in the arse, had a really good turn actually, had some unlucky saves for the Sentinels, and yeah, I was able to wipe them out. I had moved this jetbike squad into position as well to take them out, but didn't need to, so I was able to use them to shoot the Genestealers in the middle, together with this jetbike, this Dire Avenger, and that Wave Serpent, and I didn't think that was going to be enough to wipe them out, but you didn't get quite so lucky with your saves, did you, Sam? No, yeah, bad luck on the part of the Genestealers was mostly what happened there, but yeah, they're dead. Other than that, it was a case of moving away from these guys, so I went up here trying to get out of the way. This Wave Serpent turbo boosted there. I know that the Wraith Guard in there are my best way of taking out the Leman Russ, but I wasn't going to get them into range this turn, so I turbo boosted into his deployment zone just to sit there, get out next turn and do the job. Scorpions ran across here and charged that one surviving Acolyte from the squad that fled, so they're wiped out as well. So all in all, a really good turn for the Eldar. Everything just kind of fell into place. So I scored Objective 5, I scored Guardians of the Hidden Path, and I actually got 3 units in my enemy deployment zone, so I get a D3 for that, which is a 2, so just 1 point. But that's another 3 points, which puts us in a strong position here. But don't count the Genestealers out, they've still got units coming on from reserves. The first curse is nasty. I do just need to make jump moves for this jetbike unit, 7, and this jetbike, what's that, 6. Okay, once I've done those, we'll be straight on to Genestealer turn 3. So once again, the Genestealer turn started with a lot of shenanigans as units returned to shadows and new units appeared. So these guys popped up here where the first curse had been. First curse went back into ongoing reserves, and then both of these units managed to get a 6 on their ambush rolls. These guys, to be fair, did have 3 dice for being the subterranean assault swarm and having the Primus with them. So that's pretty handy for them. They were able to assault, as were this unit, and they made good work of it. This unit chucked a demo charge at the Wave Serpent, which jinked, but then proceeded to assault it and wipe it out, blow it up even. Luckily the Wraith Guard were able to get out unharmed. Over here, the other, what they called hybrid metamorph unit, were able to charge the striking Scorpions. And yeah, thanks to the Primus and the really good character they've got in there for combat, we're able to wipe out the Scorpions for only 1 casualty. So yeah, that's the Scorpions gone. Other than that, the one surviving neophyte unit, sorry, no, not the other neophyte unit, and the Lehman Russes, who've really been your stars so far this game, were able to wipe out the Warp Spiders. Didn't get a very good flicker jump, so couldn't get out of line of sight, and just got cut down by too much firepower. So in the end, he got 3 points: secure objective 6, secure objective 2, and big game hunter, as well as taking out one of my tanks and wiping out my striking Scorpions. So pretty solid third turn for the Genestealers there. But as we head into the fourth turn, Eldar have retribution in mind. So 3 more pretty good objectives to start Eldar turn 4. Harness the Warp, secure 6 and secure 4. The Swooping Hawks had Skyleap last turn, so they were able to come back in here and land near that objective before wiping out the squad holding it and running to claim it. And then the Warp Spiders, who were backing them up, managed to finish off the Chimera with shooting and then jump to hide in its wrecked carcass. Over the other side, the Wraith Guard finally got to do something. Psychic Phase, my Spirit Seer cast Psychic Shriek on this large unit that were in there, the Metamorphs. Unfortunately killed one of them, but that got me Harness the Warp. And then over here, the remaining Wraith Guard in the shooting phase shot the Russes, killed one and put a hull point on the other. That left a bit of a mopping up job needed here with all these extra Genestealers in position to charge. So the Wave Serpent and the this jet bike wiped out most of that squad bar one dude who passed his leadership. Over here, the Falcon and the Dire Avengers finished off that squad. The Dire Avengers killed most of them, and then the Falcon fired in to finish off. Sam was a little bit unlucky with his cover saves here. He was rolling consistently below average, leading to much higher casualties than he would have expected. So, yeah, not quite so great for him, but worked out nicely for the Eldar. And then these jet bikes killed a few of these neophytes, but they passed the leadership. So, all in all, pretty good. Objective 6 over the back there, it's been held by the Swooping Hawks. Objective 4 is under the Dire Avengers. And I got Harness the Warp off as well, so that's another 3 points. And yeah, the Genestealer Cult now consists of a single Russ, a single Acolyte, 6 Neophytes, and then the first Curse, which are about to come back on from reserves and absolutely mess me up. So yeah, on to Genestealer turn 4. So the main Genestealer objective this turn was to spring the trap, so score 1 point if a unit arrives from Cult Ambush and a further D3. Is it a further D3 or just D3 instead of 1? Just D3 if it wipes a unit out in combat the turn it, or just wipes a unit out the turn it arrives. So the first curse, in a move that had more to do with vengeance than tactics, I feel, because his other objectives were to secure 6 and 4, came on here and charged into the Wraith Guard, wiping them out. But before they did that, the Genestealer Patriarch cast a psychic power, what was it, mind control on one of the Wraith Guard. Spirit Seer wasn't able to dispel it, and used it to fire his D cannon, or Wraith cannon, into this Wave Serpent, put 2 hull points on it, which then allowed this one surviving hybrid to charge it and wipe it out with a lucky 6 in combat. So yeah, really very effective move there. That's the Wraith Guard, the Spirit Seer, and this tank dealt with. Other than that, the Lehman Russ killed 1 jet bike, and the hybrid squad that were here just went straight back into ongoing reserve. So D3 points there. What did you get for your D3? Oh, just 1, but I had that on a D3 earlier, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. So as we head into turn 4, both armies are... Oh, sorry, turn 5. Both armies are really quite mauled here, but it's still pretty close on points. Here we go, Eldar, turn 5. So my turn 5 cards, Hold the Line, Demolition and Hungry for Glory, are going to be a bit of a pain to score. Demolition, we can chuck that straight away, there's no fortifications. Hungry for Glory I didn't get because there was just nothing I could get into a challenge with. Eldar, as you can imagine, especially with the Scorpion Exarch dead, do not want to be in a challenge against Genestealer cultists. But Hold the Line was doable. I managed to jump both my jet bike units back while still staying in range to shoot the first curse before I did my jump move. And then for the third unit, pulled the Falcon back. So that's got me a point, which has just edged me out a lead for now. Other than that, the Swooping Hawks flew over towards the Lehman Russ, chucked a Haywire Grenade at it and took off a hull point. Unfortunately wasn't able to take another hull point off in the assault. I missed with my Haywire Grenade attack. Only being able to attack with one guy is a bit of a pain with grenades compared to what they used to be. Warp Spiders came over here looking to finish off this guy, but unfortunately had a really bad run move when I battle focused and couldn't actually quite get in range. And then the Dire Avenger here, these Dire Avengers and the bikes all shot for the first curse, killed about 6 or 7 of them, but not enough to reduce their effectiveness particularly. So not a great turn for the Eldar there, turn 5, but we got a point, which has just edged out a provisional lead. But here we go, potentially the last turn of the game. So all the objectives that the Genestealers had this turn were secure objectives. Number 5, which was over there, number 4, which was there, and what was the other one? Number 1 was over here. So he had his neophyte unit come back on, but unfortunately they rolled a 1 for their cult ambush, so they had to come on from the back line. Now that did allow them to shoot some of the warp spiders and kill 3 of them, but unfortunately didn't score them an objective. You'll also note the Swooping Hawks have been wiped out by the Lehman Russ. It was an unfortunate risk of deep striking or sort of attacking it so close. It was just going to turn around and cut me down if I didn't kill it. So, you know, it happens. It's a shame, but hey. Yeah, the Swooping Hawk's gone. The first curse went back into reserves. They weren't close enough to do anything this turn, and with being able to pick what they come in as, which will always be a 6, they just decided it was safer to go off. So the way we've worked it out, it looks like the Eldar are just 1 point up at the end of the 5th turn. Sam, if you'd like to do the honours. Okay then. It's a 2. Game's over. Eldar victory. Thanks a lot, mate. Good game. Right, so there we go. A victory for the Eldar after a bit of a run of defeats for me against Sam recently, especially with the Cult. We've finally pulled up a win, even if it was only by a single point.
Yeah, 1 point win, 12-11 it finished.
Yeah, 12-11 in the end. So, basically won via first blood.
Yeah. If it had gone another turn, I would have scored 2 on marker 1 and line break, which would have turned it.
Yeah, but I had some options as well, so it was a close run thing.
Yeah, it was pretty bad dice averagely throughout the game. It was low averages for me.
Yeah, your dice were. I had
so annoying.
I had pretty good dice with a few little muck-ups, but you know, I've always said you play a game with dice, these things are going to happen.
It happens. So it's definitely worth a rematch.
Absolutely, yeah, that will probably happen. Although you probably won't see that anytime soon because this is probably going to be the last video I get to edit and put out before I go on holiday for a week, and I'm in Marrakesh, Morocco, so not many gaming opportunities out there.
I think your wife would kill you if you took your Warhammer along.
I think she would, or worse. She'd leave the Warhammer stuff there. And leave me alive but without my models.
But yeah, so definitely worth a rematch.
Absolutely. I thought the first curse and the Lehman Russes both did really well for you.
Yeah, the Lehman Russes really work. I mean, they've got your Scorpions nicely. They were punching your Eldar all the way through the game. Mm-hmm. I probably should have just let you kill them with the Wraith Guards rather than using the first curse to wipe out your Wraith Guard.
Yeah, use the first curse to go after objectives might have been better, you'd have got more points, but you didn't want the Wraith Guard running rampant through your back lines.
Yeah, so with the first curse, they're a nice unit, but they're very expensive and they're like guaranteed to kill what they charge. They could be half that size and be effective still.
Yeah, but the 20's compulsory, isn't it? Yeah. as for the Eldar, I mean, it's a list I'm very happy with. The Scorpions probably could be replaced with something else, but I like them.
Most of your army's based hitting on 2s.
Yeah, most of my army, most of the stuff that shoots hits on 2s because of all the aspects. The other thing I'm thinking I might one day replace is the Farseer. He just doesn't, in the way I run my Eldar, do enough for me. I think an Autarch would suit me better, although generally the Farseer is known as the stronger unit. I think the Autarch would give me that more reliability in my reserves, maybe even sticking with a small unit of Shining Spears. I know they're not rated as one of the best aspects, but they have their use.
So I don't know what I'd do with your list going up to the 2k. Because the Scorpions are a bit out of place. They're good, but they're a bit out of place in your armours.
Yeah, they never really do. I mean, they had a great game against Jason and his Marines. They're great Marine killers, but, the Exarch
They had an alright game today. Got caught out by my character having an Initiative 7 power.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was like, oh yeah, challenge, Scorpion Exarch. Oh, what? You have a higher initiative than me? That doesn't happen. I'm a Scorpion Exarch. What are you talking about?
Acolyte with a metamorph with a lash whip. It's
Yeah,
quite hilarious.
Nasty. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you like these bat reps, and then let us know. And we'll see you guys again soon.
Bye.
Bye.